After waiting months to see what September's big teases for the Persona franchise would be all about, Atlus, well, pulled an Atlus and delivered some musicals, discounted games, and anime streams. So naturally, everybody was pretty disappointed since this wasn't exactly something that warranted months worth of hype. However, they did immediately clarify that there'd be more to announce in December, and honestly, if Atlus really does have some heavy hitters left in their chamber for the Persona franchise, then delivering them in September really would have been a bad idea, and if you give me like 6 minutes, I'll explain why. Alright, so obviously with Shin Megami Tensei V being right around the corner, announcing anything big for the Persona franchise could easily steal its thunder, which I'm sure Atlus would rather not do for a game they've probably been working really hard on over the past few years. So why'd they hype up an announcement for September? Well, other than the fact that the event happened to take place on the exact same day as the 25th anniversary of the first Persona game, Atlus probably just didn't really think it through all that much. After all, the games they make are awesome, but the company's been known to do a lot of silly things from time to time on the business side of things. If you ask me, though, I'd say that the two most obvious Persona announcements they'll make, though, is the confirmation of Persona 6, followed by Persona 4 Golden coming to modern consoles. However, since Shin Megami Tensei V is an exclusive for the Switch, though, I think the chances of a Persona game finally coming to Nintendo's little hybrid that could are pretty high, because I mean, if the real announcements in December were exclusive to PlayStation, then why not just spill the beans in September, you know? I know the reality is that most Persona fans probably own a Switch, and if they don't own a PS5, they're probably gonna get one sooner than later, so announcing Persona games could steal a little bit of thunder from Shin Megami Tensei V, even if they were exclusive to PlayStation, and again, this is Atlus we're talking about here, so logic doesn't necessarily always apply. But I don't know, when they're literally asking fans whether or not they want Persona games on the Switch, have released Persona spin-offs on Xbox, 3DS, and, you know, the Switch, not to mention the fact that Persona 4 Golden sold out the ass on Steam, there's just no way that Atlus would be like, nah, remaining exclusive to Sony is more important than money, lulz. Because first of all, it's friggin' not, and second of all, Persona's more popular than ever, plus fans of Smash Bros. Are curious to check it out. This is all stuff that I've been saying for the past couple of years, so I'm not gonna drag this point out too much. All I'm saying is that if Atlus is consciously holding back before Shin Megami Tensei V, then it just seems likely that something Persona-related to be announced for the Switch in December, cause it really makes all the sense in the world to do so. In the end, though, it could just be the Persona dancing games that Nintendo ends up getting, and honestly, I'd be surprised if these games didn't come to the Switch, since Atlus was always pretty keen on putting these on portables, and, well, the Switch is kinda the only popular portable around right now. It's always possible they'll announce Persona Qs 1 and 2 coming to the Switch and PS5, but I'm a little skeptical of that, cause first of all, these games are heavily built around the touch controls and dual screens on the 3DS, so it really just wouldn't feel right. But then again, in those fan surveys Atlus did a little while back, they did ask if people wanted to see the Etrian Odyssey games on the Switch as well, so I'm sure they probably have something in mind on how to make Persona Q work on consoles. I mean, it wouldn't be impossible to put the Q games on consoles since The World Ends With You ended up happening, but it'd just be kinda weird is all. Although, leaving Persona Q on the 3DS forever and ever till the end of time would probably be a little bit weirder now that I think about it, so I guess now's as good a time as any when it comes to a console port. But like, if Persona Q2 gets a home console release, then they should probably dub the game in English, and if they didn't think getting the dub out of the way 2 years ago was worth doing, then I can't imagine that porting the game was in the plans until very recently, if ever at all. I still fully believe that Persona 5 Royal is going to be multiplat someday, especially on Nintendo consoles, but since so many people just bought the game twice with Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, not to mention Persona 5 Strikers, I kinda feel like the older Persona games would be more fresh, easier to do, and also more rewarding for Atlus since they'd be new to a lot of PS4 and 5 owners. I'm sure they could get Persona 5 Royal running on the Switch since regular Persona 5 was a PS3 game and Royal doesn't really have any graphical upgrades, before Golden would just be a matter of copy and pasting and it'd be brand new to far more people. Hell, bringing Persona 3 to the Switch would be easier, even with the complications of combining the added features of the PSP version with the superior visuals of the PS2 versions. Plus, it'd be fresh to pretty much everybody, including Steam users. I mean, in 2021, playing Persona 3 legally is kind of a pain in the ass, so not many people are really getting around to it. I made an entire video about why it'd be stupid to remake the game from the ground up, basically because it'd be better for Atlus to use those resources to focus on Persona 6, and I stand by everything I said in that video, but still though, an HD remaster with some updates to the gameplay is something that'd be all for, especially considering how frustrating Persona 3 could be after playing 4 Golden and 5 Royal, which would be the case for most people, I'd imagine. Although to be fair, I've only played P3P for like 5 minutes, so maybe that game's alright. I guess it's possible that Atlus announces a wildcard like a Persona 5 fighting game, or hell, even Persona 4 Strikers, which I'd be all for, yes, pun intended. But then there's those original Forbidden Persona games that Atlus refuses to acknowledge, which I'd say are somewhat likely for December, and it'd be great for the PS5, but I think the best thing to grow the franchise would be to bring Personas 3 and 4 over to modern consoles. Because let's face it, Persona 5 Strikers is not what a Persona game's all about, although it is a lot closer than I originally thought it'd be. Because the full-fledged Persona games like 3 and 4 coming to the Switch, there'd be way more people later on willing to check the first two out. But if the first two games come to the Switch first, then there'd be a lot fewer people who'd get hooked by them. Although I'm sure some people would be. Well, I think Persona 6 is the most likely thing we'll hear about, seeing as how it's been a while since Atlus has done anything new with the franchise. I'd be quite surprised if none of the other things I mentioned weren't revealed as well. If you put a gun up my ass and made me guess, though, I'd say Persona 4 Golden and probably some kind of a weird spin-off of the games that we're actually going to see in the near future. I don't know, maybe Persona 6 will surprise me and come out in 2022, but I'm really skeptical of that. Either way, with the September event being as big of a letdown as it was, the bright side is that we could really only go uphill from here, so I'm pretty friggin' excited. In the meantime, though, I'm ready for Shin Megami Tensei V. But anyway, let me know what you think Atlus has got up their sleeves, and if you liked this video, then you should check out my videos where Atlus made me jump through a bunch of hoops just so I could finish playing Persona Q after the cartridge botched on me. If you'll excuse me, though, my stepdad got caught stealing cable, and I gotta go bail him out of jail again. Later!
So I want to say thank you to your loyalty, thank you for your support.